View Channel 5 and the Sandpoint Bulldogs. And along with me, assistant coach Dave Copley for all the play-by-play action tonight for Community View Channel 5 and the Sandpoint Bulldogs. And along with me, assistant coach Dave Demers. And Dave, a hard game tonight in Wallace.
Yeah, both teams are coming off big wins last week. You know, we're trying to get untracked offensively. We got young kids starting in all positions. I think we're probably going to have to rely on our defense a lot this week, but we've got some young kids on offense that are ready to play, and I think it's going to be a hard-hitting, hopefully high-scoring game on our side.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I hear their average line on offense is around 219.
Yeah, they have some big guys up front, but we're going to go around them, and if we can't go around them, then we're going to go through them. And our kids have a lot of heart, and I think they're going to you know, meet the challenge tonight, no matter how big those guys are on that side.
Sophomore Jay Vandenberg coming in to do the quarterbacking tonight. Of course, Plaster out with an injury. What's your thought on that?
Well, you know, anytime you lose a senior quarterback, then you lose a lot of leadership. But Jay was called upon last week. He was ready to go. And I think that our offense isn't limited because we have a sophomore back there. The seniors that are up front believe in him. I think that he's had a great week of practice, and Jay can handle the job.
Well, Dave, I know you're busy. We want to wish you the best of luck in tonight's football game.
Thank you, Larry.
And we'd like to also thank our sponsors for tonight's game, Sandpoint Motors and Furniture Exchange. And stop into their stores and thank them for bringing you all this action tonight. And remember, every Wednesday night at 6:30 on Community View Channel 5, you can watch Bulldog football. And we're going to be back with more action right after this. You're looking at Coach Bill and Barlow right now, and the Sandpoint Bulldog team is down on the field on the other end, Wallace Miners. And we are in Wallace tonight. Should be a dandy game. Both teams started out with a win. Last week, Wallace defeated Kellogg by a score of 28-0. They're big up front, and we're going to see that tonight. The Bulldogs won at Bonners Ferry 13-0, and Bonners was bigger than Sandpoint. Speed prevailed in that game. Sandpoint came out on top. We're going to go up to the booth and bring you all the Bulldog play-by-play action right after this. And good evening, everyone. We're at Wallace High School football field tonight for football between the Sandpoint Bulldogs and the Wallace Miners. And with me tonight, Gayle, Dolesby, and Gayle. This is going to be a tough one.
It certainly is. I thought they looked big last week, Bonners Ferry. These guys here look like they should be Paul Bunyan.
I know their front line, they say, averages close to 219 pounds.
I can believe it looking at those guys. They're huge.
Right now out on the field, color guard and the national anthem.
Wallace got to Sandpoint really has to watch out for. Wallace has real quality backs. They run out of information, and they are very
Some information.
Yeah,
We got some information on
Well, Gayle, we're just about ready for kickoff, and I make no prediction in these kind of things. I want you to know. But both teams have won a game. Kellogg lost these Wallace Miners last week by a score of 28-0. Of course, we defeated Bonners at Bonners 13-0. And a big loss for us there as we lost our starting quarterback, Dean Plaster.
Yes, that was a big loss for us. There's a very capable replacement in Jay Vandenberg, but definitely the experience of Dean Plaster. He took the team, led the team for 11 games last year, and we're going to miss him tonight.
Well, Gayle, how do you feel about giving the starting lineup for the Sandpoint Bulldogs tonight?
Well, all right. I guess we start with Jay Vandenberg. He's a sophomore, and he's going to replace Dean Plaster at quarterback. James Malcolm and Lynn Plaster are going to start in the backfield. Steve Shell will start out at flanker. Scott Anderson is going to be a guard. Brian Halink is a center. Brian Porter is the other guard. Doug Marks is a tackle, and John Naomi is the other tackle. And the tight end is Jeff Ward.
Okay, and also split end will be Chad Childears, and we have him down as a different number tonight. It should be number 1. Of course, we'll check this out as you can see the Sandpoint Bulldogs coming onto the field now. And I should make mention that we have a little microphone problem. Hopefully it won't cause us too much problem during the game tonight. A lot of things going on. Vandals open their season tomorrow.
Yeah, and hopefully we're on our number 2 here. I hope tonight, Larry, that since we're not in Bonners Ferry, that you can show a little partiality towards Sandpoint.
No problem.
And since you started your broadcast career in Sandpoint, I figured you might want to support them tonight.
Yeah, but remember, I went up to Bonners for 2 years, and I had to be nice.
Yeah, well, that's true. But I think down deep you supported Sandpoint last week, too.
Oh, that's right, Gayle. Well, let's explain what's going on up in the booth tonight. Crowded area, very crowded area. At the far corner of us, KSBT Radio is up here. And then we have a Sandpoint film man, plus we're next filming. And then we have the Sandpoint coaches up here to say what's going on in the field and call the plays and everything. So we're in a real crowded booth. If they hear some noise and other people in the background, at least they'll have an idea what's going on.
Certainly there is a crowd up here. We might be able to fit about 2 more people in here, but that'd be the extent of it. It's like my school bus. I had 81 kids on it the other day.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's definitely jam-packed. We have a camera in here tonight, television monitor, so hopefully if we get too cornered, we can step back and take a look at it. Right now, down on the field, they're getting ready to introduce the Wallace Miners, and they're colorful this year. Cheerleaders down there and everything, so they're really out for this game.
Yeah, they certainly look nice. They look impressive. They are big, and looks like they got a lot of support here.
course, number 5 will try to pick these up. Robbie Jones, Jr., he'll play flanker. And number 40 just came onto the field is Dave Levine, 175-pound sophomore. Number 11 is Aaron Huff, and he's a running back for him. And see, 45, that's Warren St. Peter's, 55-pound senior. And number 56 is Rod Gust, 180-pound junior. I believe they're giving their starting defensive lineup here. Number 59 is Dean Heyman, 215-pound senior. Well, they got 265, 250, 220, 250. We'll give them all to you before the night's through.
I wonder which one's Paul Bunyan.
61. You want to try this first name on this one?
Oh, wow. Well, let's try Tate Perkins.
Let's call him Mr. Perkins, 190-pound senior. Number 65 coming onto the field for the Wallace Miners, Jeff Hunter, 160-pound junior. So they're not real big on their defense, but their offensive line, oh, wait a minute, I take that back. Number 73 coming out, Larry Larson, 250-pound senior. Uh-oh, I just heard something else. Number 75 is Mike Chamberlain, 265-pound senior.
That's Paul Bunyan.
Remember one thing, if we get by them, we're gone.
Yeah, right. That's for sure.
Of course, I don't know. All those pro guys are 260, 270, and they can run faster than me. So
really, yeah. Well, I think if our line does a job like they did in the last part of the game up in Bonners last week when they had that good drive down for that touchdown, they were really doing a good job. Hopefully they can do it tonight and maybe get some holes for those backs.
Well, we want to thank our sponsors tonight, Gayle, Sandpoint Motors, and Furniture Exchange for bringing this to all the Sandpoint fans back in Sandpoint country.
Yeah. By the way, talking about Sandpoint Motors, I happened to run into one of our local boys who's now playing in the pro ranks for the 49ers. Ron Heller was down at Sandpoint Motors this morning purchasing a car, a new Camaro, with his dad, Don Heller. And I think, if I'm correct, he's only the second one from the area that's ever gone into the pros, the last one being Jerry Kramer.
I believe he's on the injured reserve list for the 49ers right now too, so he got injured. And
yeah, that's correct. He's got a nerve injury in his neck, and it's very minor, but they're real high on him, and they kept him over a couple of picks that they had, and he went in as a free agent. So we wish him well and hope he does well with the 49ers.
Well, we'll talk more about that as we're getting ready now for kickoff. And just a reminder, we are having a little mic problem, so if we go in and out, we're sorry about that, and definitely have it corrected by next week.
Let's hope so.
We'll have to bring a technician with us. Well, going deep for the Sandpoint Bulldogs will be Chad Childears, and number 9, I believe I'm going to have to steal the program back here, is Jim Patterson. He's a junior, and kicking off as the Miners get ready will be number 56. That's Rod Gust. Short kick, and Patterson's going to bounce it through his hands, gets back there, picks it up about the 10, and he's only going to get back to about the 13-yard line where the Wallace Miners will drop him there, and the Bulldogs will take first possession on the 13-yard line, just underway in the first period of play. So as we move around this booth, try to get a viewing sight, Gayle, this is going to be fun tonight.
Well, it's kind of tough. It'd be nice if there was a hook on the ceiling we can hang off of.
I think I'll watch the TV. Just underway. And Wallace 1-0, Sandpoint 1-0. And I believe that Sandpoint hasn't played Wallace since 1980.
Gee, I don't really know.
Well, I do. You know, I'm never wrong here on these things, Gayle.
Right.
As the ball, I didn't pick it up, Gayle, as I have someone in my way. Did not have the... James Malcolm picked it up, but he got good yardage as he got out to over the, well, let's call it about 17-yard line. So it's going to bring up 2nd and 5, gain of 5 by Malcolm on the play as Childears goes out. Just underway, first period of play. First minute gone. As Vandenberg is the quarterback tonight for the Bulldogs. Plaster put out last week with an injury. As pitch back and a slip by number 33. That's Plaster as he took the ball and fell. And I'll tell you what, I was down on that field earlier, and it looks nice from here, but I'll tell you that grass is really thick.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to walk across the field, but it does look thick and it does look wet.
So they're going to lose a few yards in that play. It's going to bring up third, and we'll call it 7. And you'll probably hear all sorts of voices in the background tonight. Radio right next to us. Usually we get separate booths, but Wallace, not much booth area up here, so we have to share tonight. Coach is right in front of us. As there's a handoff, and boy, nowhere for, I believe that was Malcolm with the ball, and he had nowhere to go. So it looks like the Bulldogs will have to kick their first time around.
Well, there's that big Wallace line there. There's number 78 just going into the game. Who's that? That's Dale Amsbaugh. He's another big one, 210-pound senior.
We're going to have to take a look at this program, figure out how many 200-pounders. They're supposed to have an average line on the offense of 219, and this was their defense we've seen out there, the 250 and 265. Not a very good kick. Gets a little bit of a Bulldog roll, but it's going to come dead on about the 47-yard line of the Bulldogs, and Wallace will have excellent field position. Reminder, of course, this will be aired Wednesday, but I'm going to make mention of it anyway. It's Tuesday, an excellent volleyball game coming up in Sandpoint, St. Mary's and Sandpoint, and boy, that's going to be the test for the Bulldogs this year.
That's always a tough game for Sandpoint. We lost to them last year. I think it's the first year in my memory that we lost it to St. Mary's. They're a perennial winner of the A2 volleyball every year, just like Sandpoint's in the A1.
Well, Rolf Banks is a quarterback for Wallace, young guy, and he's going to put it up right away, and he had a man open, but fell just a little bit short. Number 5 was Robbie Jones. He couldn't hang on to it.
Well, that was a nice pass. This was a little bit overthrown. We had good defenders on it, though.
I believe I'm saying his name right there, Pank. Number 13? Is that what you'd say? We got here a little late.
Rolf Pank. I wonder where they got him from.
I think they got most of these from Montana State, looking at their offensive lineup there on the front. There's a handoff and a good tackle in there made by number 74 of the Bulldogs. That's John Nemick. I mean, he got in there to pull him down, or it might have been a bigger gain than that. So only about 4 yards picked up on it. It's going to bring up 3rd and 6.
That was an excellent tackle on Nemick's part.
We're just underway in the first period of play. 9 minutes left to go. 3 minutes gone by. Bulldogs first possession. 3 plays. Couldn't move it and had to punt. And right now, Wallace an excellent field position, so the Bulldogs will have to dig in. Bank calls the play. Rolls out to his left. Pitch back in the backfield. Some good room for number 33. And he's going to pick up the first down. That's Lang.
Darren Van Horn made the tackle.
Who was that, Gayle?
Darren Van Horn made the tackle. It was a good sweep and got outside, turned the corner, and made good yardage.
Well, I guess right down to the 30-yard line, so it'll be 1st and 10 for the Wallace Miners. And they shut out Kellogg last week by a score of 28-0, so we know they can move the ball as well as have a good defense.
Certainly do. They certainly can, and they displayed it on that play right there that they can move the ball.
Vandal's going to win their opening game tomorrow?
Let's hope so.
I'm going to say they will, because this will air Wednesday, so I'll put myself in jeopardy here.
Well, you're going to root for them, of course.
Well, naturally, Gayle.
All right.
Okay. There's a handoff up the middle, and good. Bulldog. Well, I want to make sure I still have my microphone here. Sound like I lost it for a minute. As carrying the ball through the center there was Dave Levine, and he didn't get much.
No, he certainly didn't. We had a host of tacklers on him, about three different Bulldogs. I couldn't see exactly which ones they were.
Well, you can't see over big Coach John Knowles up here?
That and those big red-shirted Wallace linemen.
So it'll bring up a 2nd, and let's call it 8 for the Wallace Miners on the Bulldog 28-yard line. First threat of the game. As Bank calls the play, back to pass, looking downfield, and he way overthrows his intended receiver, so good Bulldog coverage in there, too.
It certainly was. I just want to look at the size of that. They don't give a height on that number 5, Robbie Jones, who missed that pass, but he looks to be about 6'5" or 6'6". He's a big boy.
Well, he weighs 185. So get that ball close to him. Let's find out what kind of hands he has. Hopefully for the Bulldogs, he doesn't have any.
So far, he's displayed that he's hope he keeps up what he's doing.
So that's going to bring up 3rd and 8, maybe another passing situation. 7:45 left, first period to play. No score. Miners threatening here. And there's a pitch back to Lang. Lang goes around the right side. He's got some good running room, and he may have picked up enough for the first down. I think he's going to be a yard or two shy. No, he's over it. And it looks like he's picked up the first down easily. As he moved the ball down to the 17-yard line, and it will be a 1st and 10 for the Wallace Miners. So far, that sweep's been very effective for the Miners.
Yeah, it's worked both sides for him. That was last time was the left side, and this time was the right side.
I'm trying to pick up some of these numbers on defense for the Sandpoint Bulldogs, too, as we have time. And you have the binoculars, Gayle. That'll be your job. Hankey looks over. Center hands off to Lang, and number 33 for the Miners may have picked up 3 or 4 yards on it as he gets the ball down to about the 12-yard line. And we'll call it 2nd and 6.
It's Valicic and Dave Hall were in on that tackle.
So the Miners now facing a 2nd and 6, and so far they've been able to move that ball against the Bulldogs. They have a big front line up front moving those people out. And Hankey looks, now it pitches back to Lang again. Lang going around the corner, has a little bit of running room and finally nailed in there, but not before he picked up about 5 yards. Looks like he may be about a yard shy of the first down, as a host of Bulldog players in on the tackle. .620 now. Left to go here, first period of play. And Gayle, can you pick up some of these defensive linemen for me? It's a long view from here. We have a timeout. I'll tell you what, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to be right back as you hear from one of our sponsors.
Oh, okay, that's what I want.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that before.
Well, I just marked this one. These are all defense starters. The lines are the ones. These are the offensive ones that have B are defensive starters. And I see Childears is in there. Yeah. Well, I see right here D. That means he starts D. D means he's a defensive starter.
Third and 1 for the Wallace Miners, and the Bulldogs need to dig in here and hold them as they're going to try that sweep again. Here comes Lang, and he's got some running room. Only Childears to stop him. I don't believe he did. Touchdown, Miners. And boy, that sweep is hurting them bad right now.
Yeah, that pitch out is really hurting them. They seem to be turning that corner every time, getting the blocking they need and getting downfield for the yardage.
Well, Childears came up trying to stop him, but just a little bit short on that. Miners strike first as they lead it 6-0. As an 8-yard run by Lang on that sweep around the right, put it into the end zone. So the Miners strike first. And we knew this was going to be a tough game, but early, and we don't count anybody out of it yet. And the kick's going to go wide left, so it'll be Miners 6 and the Bulldogs nothing. And, well, the Bulldogs have been scored on.
Yeah, first time this season, but I think they can come back. Our defense, and I think we might be a little jittery tonight coming down here to Wallace because of the kids know that how big the team is and how big their win was last week against Kellogg.
Oh, we have the Wallace Band right underneath us, so we have music tonight.
Yeah, it sounds good. I hope they can still hear us with all the other noise up in the booth.
Oh, boy, we're jammed in here tonight. They're just everybody, so maybe we could just sneak the phone in front of, or the microphone in front of Larry Jeffries, go watch the game.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
We're all that close enough in here, I think, to do something like that. So deep for the Bulldogs, Patterson and Childears, as the Wallace Miners get ready to kick off. And, oh, boy, we got a little movement here. Somebody stepped out for a second. 6:14 left to go, first period of play. And I'm going to let you hold the program here for just a minute. As there's a nice kick. As picking that ball up for the Bulldogs, number 80 is Becker. I don't believe that was 80, though, was it? 81?
I think, what, for the Bulldogs?
Yeah.
I thought it was 30.
Yeah, maybe it was. Okay, it was Eric Becker. And he brings it out to, let's call it the 31-yard line. As the Bulldogs will have it first and 10. They're trailing 6-0 at this time. And first time they had the ball, they ran 3 plays, unable to pick up a first down. They had to kick it. As Vandenberg over the ball. As Shell comes in motion, there's a pitch back to Malcolm. He's got some running room as he's going to pick up about 4 yards on the play, brings it out to about the 35-yard line.
Yeah, that looked like a Wallace play, and he made good yardage on that, 4 yards. Did a good job.
Okay, now Bill, the next play.
I guess I could say beautiful night for football, huh?
Yeah, I'd say the weather's a little bit better than last week. It's not quite as warm. It was really almost too warm last week.
Yeah, I rode my bike home in that too warm.
Did you bring it tonight?
No, I sold it. After the lightning and thunderstorm on the way home, it's time to get rid of it. Here's a pitch back to Malcolm again. As he's coming around the left end, he's got some good running room as he brings it out to about the 46-yard line. As he picks up about 13, 14 yards on that play. Good run.
Excellent run by Leonard Plaster. Excellent run.
Did I say Malcolm?
I think you did, but it was Leonard Plaster.
Well, there goes my Monday Night Football. And hopefully at halftime, we're going to try to talk to Dean Plaster.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate, but I was talking to his father this morning, and he seems to think that they took him to a sports surgeon in Post Falls for surgery, and seem to think that he could be back in another 3 weeks.
First and 10 from for the Bulldogs. And, ooh, boy, there's a fumble in the backfield. Wallace has it. As they were just plastered in there with a big rush by the Miners, and some of those big guys got in there. And as Vandenberg was handing off, he was hit, and the ball went down, and Wallace falls on it on the Bulldogs' 41-yard line. Excellent field position again.
Yeah, well, Wallace had that one smelled out. Sandpoint used that play last week a couple times, and what Jay did was he faked to Plaster, and then he was about to hand off to Malcolm, and then they were all over the top of him.
So once again, the Wallace Miners will have the ball. First possession, they scored. They still have 4:51 left to go here in the first period of play, and they could do some more damage. They're going to keep that sweep up, and Lang has some running room out to the left this time as he picks up 3 yards. In on the tackle.
In on the tackle.
Oh, I caught you on that one, Gayle.
Yeah, you sure did. I didn't see that. I got to get my glasses up here so I can see what's going on.
As Plank now with the ball, hands off, and there's a good tackle in there for the Bulldogs. As Leonard Plaster made that tackle. Well,
Excellent one-on-one tackle that time by Len Plaster.
Well, I'm seeing if I have the same player on that.
Number 33?
Okay. No, it's 83 that made the tackle.
Oh, was it?
So that'd be Jeff Ward.
Yeah, he's kind of corrected.
See, we can't lie on TV. Playing again, he's going to go back. He's looking for someone downfield, almost intercepted by Childears. Got a little higher. He might have had a chance to pick that off. As once again, they tried that pass. They tried that pass a little while ago, and they overthrew it too. That was to Robbie Jones.
Yeah, I was watching the quarterback that time. I didn't see the play, Larry.
I don't know how you can see anything up here anyway, Gayle.
Well, since John left,
We got a perfect view. It's just getting through all the people to see it sometimes. So that's all right, though. It's better than doing it down on the field, I guess, where you can't see anything. So Wallace will have to kick as the Bulldogs held, and there's a nice kick as Patterson waits forward on about the 5. Back to the 10, tries to reverse his field and gets it out to about the 12. So a fairly good return as he gets it back to the 12-yard line. And again, a thanks to our sponsors tonight for bringing you this game, Sandpoint Motors and Furniture Exchange. And a reminder, at Furniture Exchange, they had a small fire the other day. And not a bad one. They had a few things that got smoke damage, and they're going to sell them. So they have a little bit of a smoke damage fire sale, so you can get some great value on some reduced prices. So make sure you get in at 301 Cedar Furniture Exchange and check with Ernie, Rich, Dennis, and the rest of the crew for some good deals on some slightly smoke damaged furniture.
that's an excellent place to shop, and Ernie will always give the best deal in town.
Well, I love that 5 floors. I got lost in it the other day. Shells in motion. We have flags on the field, and boy, Bulldogs looked like they were dropped for a loss. So far they haven't been able to move this, except for one good run. They've been pretty well held, and we'll hold off and wait on this penalty. 2:44 left to go, first period of play, and the Bulldogs dug in on defense last time and held the Miners, and they had to punt it, but Miners scored the first time they had the possession. They lead it 6-0. I think the Bulldogs need a score here early in this first or second period and get right back in this game.
Yeah, it would be nice. I don't think they've tried to pass yet, but in this situation down here, it's kind of dangerous if they were.
Okay, it'll be, they refuse a penalty, the Miners do. It was on Sandpoint, and there's another flag. And we'll have to wait and see what this is, too. This might have been on the defense this time. Yes, it's on the defense, so we'll go the other way, and instead of a 2nd and 14, we'll be looking at about 2nd and 9. You said you dug up some information for me.
Yeah, when we have time, I'd like to say a little bit about the coaching staff.
Oh, I'm sure they won't mind that at all. Tom Wright filming for Communiview Channel 5 tonight. As the Bulldogs come up to the line, Vandenberg quarterback. Shell will go in motion. As Plaster pitch back to him. He's coming around the left side. He's trying to get around that corner and may have picked up a yard, but boy, he is really nailed.
That was an excellent tackle by Dave Levine, I guess is how you pronounce it. He's a sophomore, only a sophomore, 175 pounds.
He has some speed.
He certainly does. It was a good one-on-one tackle. Lynn Plaster's fast himself, but he didn't let him get around the corner.
So with 2 minutes left to go in the first period of play, the Bulldogs need to move that ball. They're deep in their own territory on about the 14-yard line. It'll bring up third, and we're going to call it about 7. And there's a quick pass, but, well, a quick kick, I mean, and it's not going to, well, it gets a little bit of a Bulldog roll as it gets out to about the 43-yard line. That's where the Wallace Miners will take over, and kind of surprised me a little bit there.
Yeah, that surprised me also, although they were deep in the territory there. Maybe they figured they'd get a little, catch them by surprise and get a little bit of breathing room.
I went pretty bad on Bonners last week when they had to drop back deep in their end zone to kick. A bad snap, and Scott Anderson right there to fall on it for the Bulldogs to give them the first score of the night.
Yeah, that was a very fortunate play for Sandpoint, although we reacted really good to that play, and that's how it happens sometimes in football.
And now the Bulldogs will have to dig in again on defense. As Plank hands off, there's a big hole on the left side. And the Miners pick up some good yardage on that, about 4 or 5 yards, as they move the ball down to about the 39-yard line. And we'll call it 2nd and 6. So they're really having some problems here in the first period of play stopping these Miners.
They certainly are. Those big linemen seem to be just moving everybody around.
Got too many things in my hand here, Gayle. Maybe one of these days we'll get a bench. And as Planky hands off to Lang. Lang digs in, tries to pick up some yardage, but a host of Bulldog players, and I see Plasters there. Who else?
Jeff Ford and Velicic, and also Adam Dewey.
As they did manage to pick up a yard or two on it. We'll say a yard and call it third down and a long 5, maybe 6 yards. As the first period of play just about coming to an end. This should be the last play of the first period. As Blanky up over the ball. As he's going to go back to pass this time, looking downfield. He's got a man open, number 85 for the Miners. I don't think he got enough for the first down, though. As our first period comes to an end, that was Phil Seward catching the ball. And that'll end our first period of play with the score of the Wallace Miners 6, Sandpoint Bulldogs nothing. We'll be right back. I only need to get 3 in the game. No, I need to get 3 first half and the second half. That trap will go. We can just get a decent half out of the block. Oh.
Do I get commission?
Yeah. Oh, I need to live. If you go out and get one, you should.
No.
Well, the Miners had to kick, and not a very good one, so that's going to help the Bulldogs out as the ball goes down to about the 20-yard line, so they didn't get a long kick on that one.
No, but it did take a Wallace bounce, otherwise it could have been a lot better for us. Could I get you to squeeze over a little bit since they moved down to the end of the field? I can't see what's going on down here.
Too bad. You watch the TV. How's that, Gayle?
That's better.
So the Bulldogs will take over on their own 19-yard line, and matter of fact, I think that's one of their best positions all night long. They've been so deep in their own territory, they've really never had a chance to get the ball out. Of course, they did get it out on downs one time to about the 44-yard line where they fumbled. As now Vandenberg, nice handoff up the middle. I believe that is Plaster. We'll wait and see. But he picked up some good yardage, about 6 yards.
That was James Malcolm on that play.
Malcolm between 32 and 33. And where we're standing, I'm having a hard time seeing. So what else is new, right?
I'm going to keep my glasses.
So we're just underway in the second period of play, and hopefully we're going to get a chance to talk to Dean Plaster at halftime. As the Bulldogs, 2nd and 5. Oh, there's that handoff again that they fumbled on last time, and they were close this time too, as the Wallace Miners really getting in there quick. As carrying the ball for the Bulldogs, number 33, Lynn Plaster.
Yes, they did get that play off, but they still had it smelled out pretty well. We've got a few changes on offense. They got Tom Russ is in there, looks like in place of Steve Shell, and
Glenn Converse is in there, 220-pound sophomore.
And Jim Patterson is also in.
And getting some bigger boys in there, maybe trying to move that Wallace line out. As now they face a 3rd and a long 5. As going back to pass, Vandenberg, and he slips and falls down, and right there to make sure he stays down was number 73 for the Miners, one of their big boys. As that's Larry Larson, 250-pound senior. And I think that grass is wet. I know it's thick. It's hard to get good footing in.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, that guy was moving. He was on top of Jay as soon as he got the ball. He blew right by our lineman, and he's quick.
Gayle, I'd like you to go in at halftime to their locker room and check out these guys, make sure they're not from Montana State or something, okay?
Yeah, I believe somebody should.
Nice kick by Shell as he gets it high and long, and there's a, Miners may break this one for some yardage. As getting that ball down, number 5, that's Robbie Jones, and he should have been nailed where he caught that ball, but he broke a few tackles.
Yeah, Darren Van Horn finally made the tackle. He did. He was slick.
And that'll move the ball right to about the 30-yard line. So once again, excellent field position for the Wallace Miners. They've had this all night long. Defense has been able to dig in and hold except for one time, and that's where we're at right now, 6-0 with 9:25 left to go, first half of play. So the Miners trying to score again, and the Bulldogs need to hold them, stay in this game. And we got a timeout by the Bulldogs, and I think we're going to do the same thing here with the 9:17 left to go, second period of play. Wallace leads at 6-0. We'll be right back. I don't have no place to put all this stuff. Huh?
You taking 1 minute off?
Yeah.
Hey, maybe halftime.
Yeah, are you on the phone? Huh?
What's that?
Maybe halftime would be a good time to go with the coaches during halftime.
Yeah, we could probably do that. You gonna come down with us?
Well, I can.
Okay, yeah. We need to find. I need to find Plaster. Well, too. Yeah, have you spotted him?
I'll look right now.
I'm taking a coffee break.
Yeah, I see him. He's right over there. You got to spot him. He's on crutches and a red hat with jeans on and a blue. He's standing right
By the field?
Yeah, right behind the players. Right over by the coaches. This side of the coaches. Stand behind him. This is the side of the coaches. So here.
Oh,
I need to get out of
You
there.
see
okay.
it?
Yeah. Throw some passes. We've been inside our 40-yard line all night.
As the Miners now with the ball. There's Planky. He's going to pitch back to Lang. Lang's got some running room around that left as he's finally brought down by a host of Bulldogs, but not before he picked up 5 yards. So it's going to bring up 2nd and 5 for the Miners.
Yeah, there's Adam Dewey, Darren Van Horn on that tackle.
Gayle, I want to thank you for doing such a great job up here with me.
Well, I sputter every once in a while, but it's coming a little bit better now.
Well, thanks. Miners now with a 2nd and 5 from the Bulldogs' 25-yard line. As Blanky up over the ball, Lang in the backfield. As he's going to go back deep, he's got a man there, and there's a touchdown for the Miners. As this time Robbie Jones, who Blanky's thrown to a couple of times before. We do have a flag down, though, and let's wait and see what the penalty. It's against the Bulldogs, I believe, so it will be a touchdown. As the, yes, it's against the Bulldogs. Decline, touchdown, Miners. As they've tried a couple of passes for Robbie Jones before and overthrew him. This time he burnt the line and caught that one for a 25-yard touchdown pass.
Yeah, that was a excellent play. He had the defender beat by about 5 yards. He just went straight down the field for the corner and cut the nice pass.
And we have the extra point try coming up as Lang for the Miners will try to kick it. No, they're going to go for it. I'm sorry. So I believe this is 2 points in high school. Lanky hands it off to Lang and straight through that left side, and I believe he got it as he's in. And so far the Wallace Miners not having much problems moving the ball, and they've moved out to a 14-0 lead.
Our defense has been doing a pretty good job, but boy, I'll tell you, Wallace is tough.
Well, you know, they talked about it in a Bulldog bench last week about how tough all the competition is in North Idaho nowadays.
Yeah, it's unbelievable that Wallace is an A2 school.
Yeah, with a lineup of what they have. So, after a 25-yard touchdown pass, it's now 14-0 as they converted the two-pointer as Lang run it in. And now they'll kick off as Childears and Patterson deep, and it's a short kick. And I believe that's Plaster picking it up about the 20. He's got some good running room as he gets back to about the 42-yard line. So a good run by Plaster.
Yeah, that was a good run, nice catch, and he got moving as soon as he got the ball.
So now the Bulldogs need to get some offense together. and try to put some points on the board before this first half comes to an end. We still have 8:17, so they have plenty of time.
Yeah, this has been our best field position so far in the game. Let's hope we can capitalize on it this time.
I should say that's the 37. I think I said he brought it out to the 40, but it's 1st and 10 on the 37-yard line. And Shell will go in motion. Oh, and there's movement in there, I believe, by Plaster, and flags all over the place.
Yeah, he was just a little bit anxious and moved before the ball was snapped. Unfortunate.
So it's going to bring up 1st and 15 for the Bulldogs.
Cigarettes.
Oh, it's been too well for the Bulldogs right now as they'll try to change things around. As in motion for the Bulldogs, Tom Rust. And back to pass as Vandenberg puts it up. It's, right in the hands there of number 32, Malcolm. And he should have had that one, just couldn't hang on. There might have been a slight deflection on that, though.
Yeah, there could have been. I think he just might have taken his eyes off the ball for a minute. He heard footsteps, but boy, that would have been, he could have been gone on that play.
Well, there was one guy that jumped up and may have just tipped it a little bit. We'll ask Tom to get us an instant replay of that. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to see that again. Well, you can see it Wednesday night, of course. No, 7:39, and the Bulldogs had an opportunity there, but a drop pass, Shell in motion. Vandenberg is going to put it up again, and almost picked off. As good coverage in there by the Miners. As number 61 right there to break that play up was Takey Perkins, and he broke that one up. So now the Bulldogs seem to be going to the air more.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to. Just a little bit of a break on either one. Well, that one was very close, but I think the passing is where it's at. I hope they can get it going.
Well, they had an opportunity there to complete one not too long ago, and as Malcolm dropped the ball, it was right in his hands. Now they're looking at a 3rd and 15, and Shell comes in motion, and there's that handoff. Good run by Malcolm, and he's not going to get enough for the first down, but he does bring it out to about the 41-yard line. And if we didn't have that 5-yard penalty the first time around, that would have been enough for the first down.
Yeah, I do believe that's a bad break, that penalty. That was an excellent run. He faked one way and to Plaster, and then Malcolm was going the other way. That's the play that Wallace seems to have smelled out, but they're probably expecting another pass that time.
Well, at least the Bulldogs know that they can move the ball a little now. They did have Malcolm wide open on that pass, and a good run by him on that one, so they can move it. Kick by Shell, and that's the guy that caught Robbie Jones, who caught the touchdown pass before, and he's not going to get much yardage bringing it back as he gets it out to the 33. We have a flag down, too, I believe, right at that point. So we'll have to wait and see who that's on, as we still have 6:49 to go in the first half, and this is the deepest the Bulldogs have had Wallace.
Yes, it is. Well, that's because of their field position on the last offensive possession. They did move it a little bit, and that was an excellent kick by Shell, and excellent coverage by the Bulldogs, forcing him to slip and fall and stop him where he did.
Well, let's hope the penalty goes against the Miners here, and even put the Miners deeper, and it looks like it will be against them. As there's 5, 10, it's going to be a big 15-yarder, and it's going to move them back to about the 17-yard line, and this is a break for the Bulldogs, getting the Miners deep into their own territory for a change, because they've started in Bulldogs territory every possession they had the ball here in the first half.
Yeah, they have, and the Bulldogs' defense has been doing a pretty good job, and I think now that they got him back up against the wall, maybe they'll hold them. Let's hope.
There's Planky in the backfield. We're going to go with that name, Gayle. As he's going to hand off to Lang. Seems to be his main man. Good defense in there by the Bulldogs. And that's number, I believe, 77 getting up for the Bulldogs is
That's Dave Valashich. He made an excellent one. Came around, caught him from behind, and dropped him right there.
One of these days, we're going to have a place where we can sit down, scatter all this stuff out, so we can see what we're doing, Gayle.
Yeah, that would be nice. Maybe we ought to tell him next time we're not coming back unless he builds us a nice little place to sit down.
They won't let us come back. 6 minutes left to go. First half of play. Miners lead at 14-0. They're deep in their own territory at the 19-yard line, facing 2nd and 8. Blanky, the quarterback, as Lang in the backfield, along with number 40 for the Miners, and he's got some running room as he has picked up enough for the first down. That's Levain, and he made a good run on that. It looked like he should have been dropped.
Yeah, he should have. He slipped through 3 tacklers before Valasic again made that, forced him out of bounds and stopped the play.
So the Bulldogs had an opportunity to keep Wallace deep in their own territory, but a nice run in there by Levine, I believe that's his name. And there's no Wallace people living in Sandpoint that could correct us later on this, is there, Gayle?
Not that I know of. It'd be a heck of a commute.
So 1st and 10 for the Miners on their own 33-yard line. Blanky pitches in the backfield to Lang's got some running room as he's going to pick up about 2 yards. Bulldogs finally collapse in there on him and bring him down. And we have a host of Bulldogs players getting up off that. Number 30 was Eric Becker.
Yeah, they had Armstrong and well, I had the names a minute ago, but I lost them.
Well, shame
we'll
on
get
you.
them next time.
And the Miners looking at 2nd and 7. As we move to the 5-minute mark of the second period of play, first half. There's a drop in the backfield by the Bulldogs as they bring Lang down for a loss of maybe 2 yards.
That was an excellent play by John Naomi. He got him from behind and forced him into one of his own blockers, and for about a 2-yard loss, looks like.
So it's going to bring up 3rd, and we'll call it, a long 8. We'll go ahead and correct the name now, Nemi.
It's John Nemi. Yeah, I just got first-hand information on how to pronounce it from one of the coaches, Ron Foster.
Could have asked me, I already knew. And it's Blanky in the backfield down for, hands off to Lang. He's got an opening, a big one, and a nice tackle in there. The first hit came by Plaster, and Patterson nailing him after that to bring him down, but not before they pick up a big first down as they move the ball out to their 47-yard line.
The quarterback that time did an excellent job of faking that ball. He had not only the Sandpoint defense fooled, but me fooled too. I was watching the quarterback, and the runner was halfway up the field.
I was watching TV. I didn't miss a thing, no.
Cameraman got it this time. We didn't miss that one.
Tom says we got that one, so. As Blanky now calling signals again, takes it to Lang. No, gives it to Lang. Got me on that one. As they're going to pick up about a yard on that. As really not much sense of them putting it in the air right now. They lead at 14-0, and they're trying to run that clock down here to end the first half. Probably will try to get another score in, though, before it ends, but probably want to run it down to keep the Bulldogs out of the end zone.
There was another fine tackle that time by Doug Marks. He got him from behind also. That seems to be about the only way we can stop these guys. Once they get going, it's hard to stop them.
And now the Miners facing 2nd and about 8. As Blanky's going to put it out in the air this time. He's got a receiver down there, and it's complete to number 85. And boy, he was wide open, Phil Seward. You could see that coming all the way, Gayle.
Yeah, sure can. He had the defense fooled and beat, and Leonard Plaster finally made the tackle and forced him out of bounds.
And didn't look like anybody picked him up when he came through there, and he was wide open as he made that cut. And Blanky's seen him, a good passer.
It looked like our defense was looking for the run and got fooled on that play. Unfortunate. Let's hope we can hold them the rest of the way here.
Some good news. We're going to start videotaping volleyball games and showing them back on Community View Channel 5.
Oh, that's good to hear. I'm looking forward to seeing the first one of those.
Of course, we'll need the sponsors, so anybody out there listening, help us out on it if they can.
Well, I'm sure you'll find somebody.
Well, those girls deserve it. As Lang brings it, is going to get it out right back to about the line of scrimmage. As he came around the left side, tackled about the 20 for about, we'll call it no gain, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, it was an excellent tackle at that time by Brian Porter.
2:39 left to go, first half of play, and the Bulldogs need to dig in here. They don't want to go into that halftime locker room trailing by a score of 21 to nothing.
We certainly don't. Let's hope we can hold them.
Hands up over the ball, Planky. 85, Phil Seward, split to the right side. As in the backfield, Lang. And this time going back is Planky. He's got a man there, and they're going to say he caught it right about the 10-yard line. And a beautiful catch in there by number 5 of the Miners, Robbie Jones, because he had to concentrate keeping both feet in.
Yeah, that almost looked like a pro play. He just went right out to the right spot, and the ball was there, and he went out of bounds. What can you say?
Well, the clock, I can't believe they're allowing that clock to move because he went out of bounds, and they're moving the clock, so they're doing something wrong here. This is to the Bulldogs' advantage, and so far nobody for Wallace has picked it up. As the clock is moving, he went out, so that should have stopped the clock, and Wallace calls a timeout. And we're going to hold it right here. Just a reminder that when people are in town, well, we'll give them a lot of good reasons, Gayle, but they should stop by at Sandpoint Motors, first of all, and thank Jack and the crew for sponsoring these football games. And also take a look at the 2.4 APR financing on Chryslers and Plymouth and Dodge, and 2.9% financing on Chevys. And can't beat that. That's some good deals. Boy, they got some beautiful cars down there.
I can't remember when financing has been so cheap for new cars, and they're a good bunch to deal with down there, Jack Parker and crew. And I'm sure if you go down there, you get a good deal.
Well, they got a used car giant truck clearance sale going on, and stop by, see Chris, Ken, Bob, George, Rick, Jack, any of them. They'll be glad to help you. A nice bunch down there.
They certainly are.
And Sandpoint Motors, we'd like to thank them for sponsoring tonight's game. And, of course, Jack Parker's boy, Dave Parker, plays for the Idaho Vandals. He had a little bit of surgery to start the season, so he might be out a game or two. Apparently it's not real serious, but anytime you deal with any kind of surgery, it's serious. So our best of luck to Dave Parker, and hopefully he'll be, be back on the line for the Vandals.
Yeah, you bet. He was a number 2 tackler for the Vandals last year, and they were expecting big things out of him this year. That way I understand the injury was minor, and he should be back within a game or two playing.
Well, Jack told me he was up moving around on it the same day, walked right out of it's one of those you go in and they do the surgery and you get up and walk away from it. And Jack said he was expecting him to be on crutches and all this, but no, he got up and walked around, so he's exercising, and hopefully we're going to see him here in a week or two back on his feet, so all the fans get a chance to go down and root Dave on and the Vandals.
Well, yeah, let's hope so.
Dave's a senior this year, I believe.
Yes, he is a senior. He keeps himself in good shape, and that's probably why he's going to bounce back from this injury so soon.
Well, I knew Dave pretty well. Excellent football player for the Bulldogs when he was here, and also a good basketball player. But one thing that impressed me more was how polite he was. A real polite kid.
You bet.
Of course, I guess you call him a young man now, right? And it looks like the Miners have done it one more time as they go in from the 10-yard line, and Bulldogs having trouble stopping them. 20 to nothing with 1:31 to go, and the Bulldogs are going to have to put something together here, or we might see a blowout.
Yeah, well, they certainly are. I don't know. It just seems like their offense is really taking command, and hopefully we can, Coach Barlow can adjust here at halftime with our defense.
One thing that's really hard for announcers, and here you're telling me not to, to get a little bit more prejudice for the Bulldogs, but it's really hard when your team goes in there and they fall behind like this to, these kids are out there, they're trying hard, they're under a new quarterback. Of course, it's not Vandenberg's fault or anything on offense. I don't want to mean it that way, but, when you lose your starting quarterback and you have to start over again, you kind of regroup. And, boy, there's the two-pointer as Plank hits number 5 again, Robbie Jones, and now they build that lead to 22 to nothing, and Wallace, their confidence is just building here. But what I was trying to say, Gayle, is that, you have to, all of a sudden you're not going to run all those plays you probably would have as you worked with your number 1 quarterback all the time, and then you bring another guy in, you have to build back up to that. And so That's a little rough.
Yeah, that really was an unfortunate injury for us. Your heart has to go out to Dean Plaster. Here he started all the games for the Bulldogs last year, and it's his senior year. And you're only a senior once in high school in your life. You never have another chance to be a senior. And he was really looking forward to the season, I'm sure. And to go down in the first game is really a tough break.
Well, I know they thought he was going to be one of the better quarterbacks in the league, and after seeing him in the first couple of periods of the Bonners Ferry game, I'd sure have to believe that. He had a great arm on him, and when he got in the backfield and got in trouble, he knew what to do with the ball. You know, he could get away from those guys. So really a heartbreaker for the Bulldogs. But let's not take nothing away from the Wallace Miners either. Boy, they're a big team, and they look like they're well organized this year.
Yeah, they certainly are. And Jay Vandenberg being a new quarterback, it takes a little bit of adjustment on the part of the rest of the team, but they are a big team, and they're tough.
Well, Norm Walker's been around a long time, and here's kickoff. Number 33 is Plaster, and he's going to get a little bit of running room as he brings the ball out to just about the 34-yard line, as Bulldogs have a minute 25 to work with to try to cut the score down a little bit, as they're trailing 22-0. But you know, Gayle, Wallace, I don't think loses too many home games at home. They have a real good home record.
Yeah, I'm not really aware of their record, but the size of them tells me they got to have a good record.
Well, I know I couldn't tell you what it is right offhand either, but watching them over the last few years and stuff, they didn't lose too many times at home. They are very tough here. As the clock's moving.
I'd look for a pass on this play.
As there's a quick pass out to Childears, has it, and he breaks free. He's got rid of one guy. And he gets knocked out about the 50-yard line. May have made it just barely into minor territory. Really got nailed in there and fumbled the ball, but for the Bulldogs it went out, so a break for them as they pick up some good yardage on that all the way out to the 50-yard line. So it's going to bring up 1st and 10, and they still have 56 seconds. That stops the clock. And I think we may see a few more go in the air here. Boy, look at that guy over the center there, nose guard for the Miners. Big.
You mean that fire plug out there?
And Vandenberg's going to put it up. He's got Childears again. Childears tries to break free. He's going to pick up some yardage as he gets it down to about the 41-yard line, so a gain of about 9, and Childears with 2 quick catches.
Looks real good. Looks real good. They're calling a timeout now. Sandpoint is. It set something else up, but those were 2 real good plays, 2 good pass plays, and Childears made good catches and advanced the ball well after he got them.
Well, our other sponsor tonight, Furniture Exchange in downtown Sandpoint, 301 Cedar. They had a slight fire, nothing major. It was on the top floor, but it did smoke damage a few pieces of furniture in there. They've got it all cleaned up, looks really nice. And there's just a little bit of smell to it, so I guess they're going to reduce prices really super on these and give a good deal to the customers. And if you've never been in Furniture Exchange, you need to go look at all 5 floors. That's a great place.
It certainly is. He's just got about anything and everything you need down there. Ernie will always take good care of you also.
I'll tell you what, a great group of guys down there too. Rich, Ernie, Dennis, and Terry, and I'll have to learn the rest of the names, but everybody's really been polite every time I went in there, and we thank them for sponsoring this Bulldog football game. Furniture Exchange, downtown Sandpoint.
I don't think Terry's a guy, though.
No, female. But she's polite, too.
Yes.
As Childears got the last 2 passes, Vandenberg's getting a big rush. He's not going to get it off. He's dropped back on the 45-yard line. Big 85, Phil Seward getting in there, 190-pound senior. And, boy, I'll tell you what, Vandenberg almost broke free of him, but no, it didn't look like anybody picked him up on the line.
Yeah, he tried to shake free. He was on him right as soon as he got the ball. Vandenberg almost got away, but he couldn't. He got a hold of his jersey and didn't let go.
And a loss of about 5 on the play. It's going to bring up 2nd 15, clock moving, 13 seconds. So let's see if the Bulldogs have anything up their sleeves on this, as they're going to try to get something going. Shell in motion. And this time Vandenberg fakes it, and he's going to run it out. That'll do it. And that'll end the first half of play as Wallace puts 3 scores across that goal line, and they lead it 22-0. And we're going to be back. We're at halftime in Wallace, where the Miners lead at 22-0. With me at halftime, quarterback for the Bulldogs, Dean Plaster. And Dean, unfortunately, you're not quarterbacking tonight. Tell us about your injury in Bonners Ferry last week.
It was the third quarter, and I was dropping back on a pass, and came over my right foot, and I was throwing over a straight leg, and I was throwing to Todd Browning, my tight end. And after I got the playoff, I think it was a defensive tackle came and stepped on my foot, and I think I had a blitzing defensive end. He came and knocked me over, and it popped my foot back like this and broke a few metatarsals.
Just a play or two before that, you really got nailed on a play, too, and I didn't think you were going to get up on that one. Do you remember that?
Yeah. It wasn't as bad as really as it wasn't really that bad. I kind of crunched my shoulder on it, but I think it's kind of my fault I didn't get off quick enough. My line does a pretty decent job of pass blocking when I'm in there.
How hard is it for a young quarterback like Vandenberg to come in and take over? And how do you feel he's doing?
Yeah, I think he's doing pretty good. It took me, for this offense, we had basically a quick pitch offense around ends, but reading option took me close to, I was working out during last spring and all summer on reading the option, and fortunately Vandenberg wasn't, with me working on it really that much. I had my Dave Demers, passing coordinator, and Ron Foster running game, and I'd really work on that, quite a bit, and I got the option down pretty good, the reading and stuff, and starting to come along with him. I think he just really needs to read the linebackers, and after he reads the linebackers in this game and the next game, West Valley, he'll be doing all right. Second half, you should see like a difference because I think he's starting to read the linebackers coming up, and reading the blitz. And once he starts reading the blitz and reading the strong safety, where he's going or free safety, he should be running the option really well. But his arm's fine. I think the second half you'll see more quick passing. I think he showed that he can quick pass the second half and a little more option. What basically we have to do is I think is spread the defensive out a little bit. Basically an option. What you're doing is just spreading your defensive out, go inside, have them come inside, and then you're running outside, and you just kind of tricking the defense on spreading it out, pitching the ball, reading this kind of. It's a really good offense. You run it right.
Are you impressed with Wallace's offense tonight? Now they're leading 22-0. They seem to be moving that ball quite well.
Well, yeah, they're doing all right. We got to do some defensive changes and stuff, but I think they're really a power offense. They have a really quick tailback, fullback's tough. Speed option's working really well for them. I think they're chopping our end and sucking our strong safety, and is giving a chance for the quarterback to pitch the ball, and you have your fullback leading the play, and that quick tailback just running outside. But I think you'll see change come second half. They'll stop it up pretty good. I think we'll put some points on the board this second half.
Let's give Dean one opportunity to say hi to a few people. I'm sure this will air back Wednesday night at 6:30. Of course, you're sure you're going to say hi to Mom?
Yeah, hi, Mom. No,
Anybody else?
Hi, Sandpoint. I don't know.
Hi, Sandpoint. Well, Dean, we want to thank you for coming in. We hope that you're going to get back in, so it looks like you're going to get back in.
Should be. I had a really good sports specialist, Dr. Donati. I'm supposed to go Thursday to take this off. Therapy work, it's really a pain level whether I'll be back in, how soon it is, but they put some plates and screws in it to hold it up pretty good, so hopefully I'll be back in about 4 weeks. After this is off, I'll be throwing quite a bit and at practice and stuff, but I think I should be back for at least 5 more games this season. That's I'm hoping for, that's what I'm shooting for.
Well, Dean, we want to wish you the best luck and hope to see you back in. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, thanks.
Dean Plaster, a quarterback last week, got hurt in the Bonners Ferry game. We'd like to thank him for stopping in tonight. And we're going to be back with more halftime activity, as right now it's Wallace 22, Sandpoint nothing. Still at halftime, and it's 22-0, unfortunately for us, Gayle. That's kind of hard to get up in the booth and do that one that way. But you had some halftime entertainment stuff you wanted to bring along about the coaches.
Well, I think a lot of people don't know who the coaches are, and I think they need some recognition. They do a fine job. The first one, of course, is head coach Bill Barlow, and he's been at the helm now 2 years, and he played for the Bulldogs and the Idaho Vandals, and he's a teacher at Sandpoint High School. He's compiled himself what I think is one of the finest coaching staffs they've had at Sandpoint since I've been around. And Mike Haganone is his defensive coordinator. He also played for the Bulldogs and the Vandals. He's a senior coach on the staff. He's been around longer than anybody else. The offensive coordinator is Ron Foster, and he's a rookie coach this year. He's a businessman in Sandpoint. And let's see, and then you got John Knowles. He's also a rookie coach, and he helps with the offense and defensive lines, and he's a contractor in Sandpoint. You've got John Nitze is a second-year coach, and he's played ball at St. Mary's High School. Oh, are we still going here?
Yes, we're still going.
Yeah, he's okay. And then let's see. I think let me look at my notes here a minute, if I may.
Okay, just a reminder, we are at halftime. 22-0. Wallace is leading, and we'd like to thank Dean Plaster for stopping in and talking with us, and we hope he gets healthy real quick as the Bulldogs are back out on the field preparing for the second half. And as Dean says, he thinks that Vandenberg's starting to read this defense a little better. I think we're going to see more Bulldog action at halftime here, and maybe hopefully some scores and come back and win this game.
Well, let's hope so. Then we go on down the line of the coaches. Chris Miller, he helps with the offensive line and defense. He played ball at Sandpoint High School. Dave Demers, he works with the offense, and he played ball for Sandpoint and Boise State, and he's a teacher at the high school also. Chris Miller, by the way, is in the insurance business, and Mike McNulty is a teacher, and he helps with the offense and defense. That basically takes care of the coaches. I think we owe a lot to these men. They work awful hard. They take a lot of time, and it takes a lot of effort to do what they do. And when we see them around town, we should acknowledge to them that and compliment them on a nice and fine job that they do with these boys out here on the field.
Thank you, Gayle. And we're getting close to the start of the second half, so we have to head back up in the booth. We'd like to thank Gayle Dolesby, and we'll be right back.
We better.
Yeah. Oh, we still got 2 minutes and 36 seconds. Well, Gayle, ready for the second half kickoff. Bulldogs trailing 22-0, and unfortunately, they got to give the ball up again and kick it off.
Yeah, I'm still out of breath, too.
Oh, we had to run back up after the interviews, and Gayle, I'd like to thank you for that information on the coaches.
Yeah, well, I hope I didn't leave anything out. I tried to memorize all of it, but you just can't do it.
Well, I remember a lot of them because, of course, I was in high school when Bill Barlow was playing and had the pleasure of watching him. And then, of course, Cotton went to Coeur d'Alene there for a little while, and I think we even played against them once. Ugh. But Cotton, an outstanding coach that coached for a long time here for Sandpoint.
Well, like I said, I think this coaching staff he's put together this year is the finest I've seen, and they're doing a real good job with these boys.
Well, Lang brings the ball out to the 35-yard line, and in there to nail him for the Bulldogs, number 41, Tom Rust. And the Bulldogs need to dig in here now, hold the Miners, get that ball, and get a quick score, and they're going to be right back in this game if they do. Gayle, I'm going to let you hold this mic so I can put my coat on. It's getting cold.
I wouldn't want you to freeze, Larry. Certainly is a change from last week, though. We were in shirt sleeves up in Bonners Ferry all night long.
Oh, I remember that well. A little lightning storm at the end of the game.
Yeah, it didn't even get cold, though.
Thank you, Gayle. As now that'll help warm me up a little, I hope. Just underway, third period of play, and Bulldogs trying to dig in here on defense. As number 40 picked up a couple of yards for him. And that's Laverne. As and Gayle's holding last week's program from Wallace. That won't do no good. He had the Kellogg starting lineup.
We don't have the tackler on the roster on that last play. It's number 70, whoever that was.
Maybe one of the coaches will be able to tell us. As clock moving, 10:58, let's go. A handoff up the middle to Lang. He'll get a few out of it as he moves the ball out to about the 42-yard line. That's going to bring up third and about 4. And Bulldogs definitely need to dig in.
It was Valicic, Rust, and Shell was in on that tackle.
Girls volleyball, of course, they'll be, by the time you see this, the games will be over with, but they're playing Lewiston Saturday, St. Mary's. Big game for them on Tuesday, and they have a tournament coming up the weekend after, and that's a big one, and we'll be there to film that. As Planky calls signals. There's that handoff to Lang. He's got a big hole, and I think he's going to be about a yard shy of the first down. And with a 22-0 lead, Wallace might gamble and go for it. They're just shy of about half a yard, and they're sending out their kicking team.
That was Scott Anderson and John Nemi on that play.
So Jim Patterson, a junior, they have him listed as 138.
Yeah, he's not very big. He's quick, though.
As the punt will come from about the 30-yard line. Big rush, and Bulldogs almost got it, as it's not a good kick, and it's let's see where they marked that. And that was from the pressure by the Bulldogs line as they came in there quick. And Miners had a hard time, Warren St. Peter's had a hard time getting the kickoff on that, and they're going to mark it right on the Bulldogs' 43-yard line. So from the line of scrimmage, that's about a 12-yard kick, 12, 13-yard kick.
Yeah, excellent pressure by the Bulldogs. I'll have to correct you, Larry. That's the 48-yard line of the Bulldogs where the ball's at. But the pressure did force the kick to go off the side of the punter's foot and gave the Bulldogs real good field position.
Wouldn't be the first time I was corrected. As Shell goes in motion. There's a quarterback keeper, and picking up some good yardage is Vandenberg, and that scares me when you got one quarterback gone and a sophomore quarterback out there. I'm not sure who their third one would be if they needed it.
Well, Tom Russ is a backup for Vandenberg tonight, that quarterback.
Vandenberg picked up some good yardage on that, a gain of about 5.5 yards. We'll call it second down along 4, clock moving, 9 minutes, and I believe this is the first time Bulldogs been in Miner territory.
Yeah, I think you're right, Larry, this time.
Hey, once again, Chell started in motion. Handoff to, I believe, Malcolm, and he's going to pick up enough for the first down as he gets it down to the 41-yard line. And so far tonight, we haven't seen any injuries on either side, so that's been good news.
Well, that's great. I hope it keeps up. I don't like to see anybody hurt out there on the field, no matter which side it's on.
Yeah, these young boys, you know, possibly college career coming up, you hate to see things like that. I'd like to thank Dean Plaster. He sure seems to be in high spirits, so hopefully he will get back in for a few games before the season's over.
You know, I think maybe we better start calling these guys young men out here, especially those Wallace guys. They're so big, they might get offended if you call them boys.
We'll call them old men. There's a quick pass. Oh, right in the hands of number 83, Jeff Ward, and Jeff just dropped it. I think he got a little anxious and seen that goalpost down there.
Yeah, he had the ball before, he thought he had the ball before he had it, I guess. And that's just too bad. He's a good player, and it's unfortunate he dropped it.
I would have caught it, Gayle. Unfortunately, I would have run the wrong way. I would have got so excited.
Yeah, wrong way, like Jim Marshall did a few years ago.
Well, it happens to the best of us now and then. 8:24, third period to play, and the Miners are leading 22-0. But this is one of the best drives by the Bulldogs. There's Malcolm again, and he's going to pick up some good yardage, and then he's hit by he's hit by a brick wall. That's what we'll call it, and they're going to give him forward progress, I'm sure, out to, well, let's call it the 37. He's going to pick up about 4 yards on it. It'll bring up third and 6.
Yeah, that's been their most effective play into the line, right through the center of the line. They haven't been able to do the sweep, but the line opened a good hole for him, but after that he didn't have any blocking. There was about 5 or 6 of those big Wallace guys all over the top of him.
Malcolm Plaster in the backfield as Patterson goes wide to the left. As Vandenberg back to pass, looking for Shell. He's got him, and Shell's going to be just about a half yard shy of the first down as he really got hit in there by, let me see if I can pick it up. Looks like number 45. That's Warren St. Peter's, and getting up slow as Shell, but he really got nailed.
He sure did. That was a punter going after the punter. That was the Wallace punter tackling the Sandpoint punter.
Let me confirm something with Tom Wright tonight, filming this. We are going to start filming volleyball, right?
You betcha. We're really looking forward to it. And anxious to get it underway. We'll be filming our first game this Tuesday evening, which will be Sandpoint and St. Mary's, right. And that way will air Wednesday after our football game. So for all you viewers that are watching this football game, stay tuned. We've got volleyball directly following.
7 minutes left to go, and the Bulldogs jump off sides, and well, at least I believe the Bulldogs did. And that's a shame because it was 4th and just, well, it was about a yard. It looked like they were closer than that. But they only had about a yard to go, and I think they'll still go for it. It's going to bring up 4th and 6 as they'll move that ball back to the 37-yard line. No, I did not ride my motorcycle tonight.
Well, I don't have room for you tonight. I rode down with Brian Porter's folks.
Oh, Tom's going to give me a ride. Nice guy. I left my car in Coeur d'Alene. I'll pick it up there. Okay, as Patterson comes, far right. Shell Malcolm in motion now. And there's a handoff to Malcolm. Big hole, and I think he's got enough for the first down as he moves it down to the 30-yard line. Boy, he hit that hole quick. There was a good hole in there for him.
Yeah, excellent hole. The line's doing a good job on this drive. They're opening good holes for him, and he's taking advantage. And at that time, he had a couple of blockers out in front of him.
Well, it looked like Scott Anderson. Well, let me make sure of this. Boy, they really opened up a hole for him right around that center area as... I
think that's on Doug Mark's side, and I believe it's Brian Porter's side.
Boy, Malcolm just flew through there, and there's movement by the Bulldogs. So I think it was movement by the Bulldogs first.
It looked like to me that Wallace might have jumped off sides before the Bulldogs moved.
Yeah, but we're at Wallace.
Yeah, they're talking it over now. The officials are out in the middle of the field. They're discussing what's going on, and they're calling the Bulldogs for illegal motion.
See what I told you? Yeah. I'm getting prejudiced there.
Like it, I'm entitled to be wrong once.
I hope so. So the Bulldogs will be moved back 5 after they picked up a first down. Now they're back to the 35, so they're having trouble keeping that ball going. Good drive for them, but a few penalties have hurt them. Great run by Malcolm saved them, and now they need it again. 1st and 15 on the 35. As Patterson comes wide right. Shell in motion. Vandenberg calling signals. Hands off to Malcolm. Fakes it. He's going to get hit, but he got the pass off. Oh, right through the hands of number 33, Plaster. And looked like he might have had that. And maybe someone did get a hand on it. Looked like it could have been picked off, too. But you have to give Vandenberg a lot of credit for throwing that because, boy, he ate it after he did.
He sure did. That was a good try, and they'll make one of those here pretty soon.
That Phil Seward for Wallace has a lot of speed because he came from the opposite side, and Plaster waited till the last moment, and as he released it, Stewart, he just hit him hard. So Vandenberg back up okay, though.
He's in for Shell.
Tom Rust in for Shell. As number 81 out for the Bulldogs here on the right side is Van Horn. And Vandenberg escapes one tackle, trying to get away from another. He's going to run it now. He's going to put it up. It's going to be picked off in there by the Wallace Miners. As coming up with the ball, number 45, Warren St. Peters. And that's going to end that Bulldog drive. But Vandenberg did everything he could to get away from 3 or 4 tacklers. Then running to his opposite side, released one and just didn't get it up high enough. Or maybe he just didn't see St. Peter's there. He came around and grabbed it and picked it off, brought it back out to the Wallace 35-yard line where they'll take over.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. He did a real good job of scrambling that time because you're right. He could have been tackled 3 or 4 times. There was a couple of Sandpoint players in the area, but there was a couple of Wallace players also. It's just unfortunate.
Well, they moved the ball well that time, but they did not get the ball in for a score, and that's what they needed. 5:50 left here in third period to play, and they're trailing 22-0. As Frank, there's a fumble, and I believe Peterson's on top of it. Let's wait and see. It looked like the Bulldog, or Patterson, I mean, it looks like he picked it up. No, they're going to give it to Wallace. Patterson had it in his hands at one time, but apparently when he fell on it, it squirted loose, and another Miner right there to jump on it.
Yeah, I believe that was Rolf Pankey. You're right. There was 3 or 4 different players there, and any one of them could have had it. Just the way those things squirt when they're on the ground, it's just lucky who gets it.
Well, Patterson had a second there. He looked like he had his hands on it, but must have popped out when he fell on it. So it'll bring up a 2nd and 11. They lost a yard on it. As Blanky now hands off up front to Devine. Devine's going to be sacked for a loss as the Bulldogs look like they're really toughening up now as a host of them were in on that tackle.
Yeah, that was a good play by the defense. Tom Russ made the initial contact and slowed him down, and then there was a host of players, about 5 or 6, that finished him off.
And Brian Porter in on that too. As Gayle said, a bunch of them in there. It's a good thing about TV. You can pick these numbers up the next time around.
Yeah, the next time around. Too bad we don't have instant replay. We could do a better job up here.
Well, we just sent Tom to film them, and then we could just stay at home and edit them, and do our fake play-by-play later.
Oh, yeah, but it wouldn't be fun up here teetering on top of this roof.
Well, at least they didn't put us out on the roof this time. 4:15 left to go in the third period of play. Planky's going to put it up. He's got a man there, and he's going to overthrow him. And Bulldogs may have got a break as Jones, when he went through there, got tapped lightly.
Yeah, they slowed him down a little bit, and we had good coverage. Jim Patterson and Leonard Plaster were right on top of him.
So it's going to bring up a 4th down situation, and Wallace will be forced to punt. And the Bulldogs moved it well last time, and they're going to need to get a score here pretty quick. 22 points is hard to make up. There's a snap, big rush, but he gets it off, and it's a high kick, nice kick, and Patterson will let it roll as it's going to come dead on about the 29-yard line, and the Bulldogs will take over there. And with our score 22-0, 3:58 left to go here, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Well, I can cut it with less than a minute then. See, the last one, 3, we got 3. We need to do about 45 seconds. So this one would just be a short one.
Let's hope this isn't a touchdown.
Well, no, I won't have a full minute.
Scott Neer is in.
Here comes the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
Motion right, Tom Russ.
No blocking.
And boy, I'll tell you, just a minute at the line of scrimmage there, Malcolm for no gain. Okay, what you're saying, Gayle?
A couple different changes in the offense. Scott Neer's in at tight end, and Glenn Converse is in at guard.
Okay, and Glenn Converse into the game now, along with Scott Neer. And clock moving to 54. And, well, another penalty on Sandpoint. They've been penalized a lot tonight.
Yeah, they have. What else can you say?
We're running out of things to say. Next week, we haven't talked about that, Spokane, West Valley.
Yeah, that should be another tough one. But this game's not over yet. I still have confidence we're going to come back and score a few points.
I get to see a lot of friends when I go over there. I've been over there, of course, for the last 2 years, so chance to stop and say hi to everybody. And should be a tough game as West Valley opens their season tonight. Of course, by the time this airs, you'll know who won that one and what we're up against. But they're always tough. They've been the powerhouse in Spokane and AA. There's an interception. Vandenberg put it up again, and boy, right there to make the interception, Aaron Huff. And the Miners will have it deep in Bulldog territory around the 25-yard line.
Yeah, Aaron Huff stepped right in front of James Patterson, took that ball away from him that time. Unfortunate.
Well, for a younger quarterback that's not used to this offense, it's probably hard to see those defensive guys, because Huff did come across and pick that one off.
Yeah, that's true. That inexperience is going to hurt you at this point here. Vandenberg's a very capable quarterback, and I'm sure he's going to turn into be one of the better ones at Sandpoint High School. You got to remember, he's still a sophomore. He led the freshman team to only one loss last year. I think their record was either 6-1 or 7-1.
6-1. I'll correct you on that, Gayle.
Okay, thanks.
As Blanky puts it up for the end zone, and there's number 85 again. That's Seward. He caught one earlier, and the Miners now have increased that lead to 28-0. That's what they defeated Kellogg by last week. So it might give you an indication on how good Kellogg well, how they might match up against Sandpoint this year. Of course, doesn't mean nothing. Different nights, different plays.
Yeah, unfortunate. He was all by himself that time. I don't know what happened to our defense. Did he slip through him or something? And he didn't look like he was going that fast, blazing fast, but he was sure wide open when the pass came to him.
Well, I think I've seen somewhere there's been since 1980 that the Bulldogs have played the Miners, so they really don't know that much about them. They, I'm sure, had a scout for last week's game, but Wallace, I'll tell you what, they're going to beat some people this year.
Certainly are. I can't see that they're going to lose watching them play tonight.
Well, they pushed that 2 points through, and they now lead at 30-0. And should make a reminder on a few things here. First of all, we'd like to thank our sponsors tonight, Sandpoint Motor and Furniture Exchange. And just a reminder, if you get a chance, stop down at Sandpoint Motors and say hi to Jack and all the crew. Thank them for sponsoring this game tonight. And check some of their good deals that they have going on 2.4 APR financing on Chrysler and Dodge and 2.9 financing on Chevys. Also, don't forget their used car and giant truck clearance sale going on. Stop in, see Chris, Ken, Bob, and George, and Rick, and just thank them. They're open 7 days a week, and they're open till 7 on weekdays and 4 on Saturday. I think I said they're open 7 days a week. I think they're closed Sunday, but they're open till 7 on weekdays. So when you get off work, good chance to go down and say hi to all the people at Sandpoint Motors. Thank them for putting this game on the air, and take a look at some good car and truck deals. Well, the Miners now have increased that lead to 30-0 with 2:18 left to go in the third period of play, so it could be a long night for the Bulldogs, but hopefully they'll save a little bit and put some scores in here. It's going to be hard for them to come back now.
Yeah, it sure will. All we can hope for now, I think, at this point is to score a few points and not get shut out.
Oh, Plaster's got a chance to break one, and boy, he just about did it as he brings it out to midfield. And diving tackle save there, and there for the Wallace Miners with number 50. That's Mark Cole, or Plaster would have been gone for 6.
Yes, excellent run by Plaster. He got through several tacklers, just about 2 more, and he would have been gone.
Well, he got hit on that by the last one before Cole made the stop. If he hadn't got slowing up, I think he would have been gone for sure, wide open field.
Yeah, I think you're right, Larry. Again.
I know I'm right, Gayle. A few minutes left here in the third period of play. As Vandenberg now sends Russ onto the left. And there's a handoff. Ooh, as Malcolm is just, or not Malcolm, but Plaster just nailed as he crosses the 50-yard line. And has got it down to about the 48.
But Dale Amsbaugh, a 210-pound senior, made that tackle, and he just ran right head-on into him.
65 going out for the Bulldogs. It's Brian Porter. As the Bulldogs in Miner territory, as Patterson comes to the right here, as the pitch back to number 30 for the Bulldogs, Eric Becker, and he may have got a yard or two. So a lot of sophomores on this team.
Yeah, there's a real good crop of sophomores that have blended in with this team. The Sandpoint's going to be tough to be tough in the next couple of years. It's got quite a few different players in there right now. We'll try to pick them up for you here in a minute.
So a lot of new players coming into the game. We'll try to pick them up. Converse in there now for the Bulldogs. Some others, we'll pick them up as we go here. Vandenberg's going to put it up in the air. Big rush, and boom, he fumble. And I think he got it back. Yes, he did. As the Miners had their hand on it, but they just scooted it right to Vandenberg, and he picked it up, but that's going to bring up a punting situation.
Well, we got Scott Porter and Eric Becker and David Hall are rotating around in the back. You've got Matt McNulty as the center now. You've got Glenn Converse is in there. Scott Neer. There's the end of the third quarter. It got me right in the ear.
I think he was trying to get you to quit talking. Well, we're going to take a break. That's the end of the third period of play. Our score, Wallace 30, the Bulldogs nothing. We'll be right back. Bill says he'd give us a quick interview at the end of the game. I don't know how happy he's going to be about wanting to give us one, though. So, can I wear a different coat this time? And a short punt by the Bulldogs. As the Miners now will have it again in good position about their 42-yard line.
Yeah, Glenn Converse, Scott Neer, and Eric Becker were in on that tackle.
So as we move in this fourth period of play, not a good night for the Bulldogs. They're trailing this 30-0 as Coach Barlow giving some of the younger kids now a chance to play. We see a lot of new players in. Gayle's going to pick some of them up for us here. 50 in for the Bulldogs. Mike Brown, good little boxer.
Yeah, he certainly is. Jerry Banks is in the defensive backfield now.
Good defense that time for the Bulldogs. No pickup by the Miners, maybe a yard at the most. Mike Brown, he won the, let's see if I get this right, National Junior Olympic title. It's held on the East Coast in the 132-pound division this year. So quite a boxer. Bill Brown, his father, and he talked to him earlier today. He's going to continue to box him, but they're going to try to slow him down a little. He's 16 now, and he has to get in that senior division.
Yeah, he is an excellent boxer, but that isn't the first one we've had come out of Sandpoint. Let's hope he can maybe do as well as the other one. That
Jeff McCracken, I think you're talking about.
Exactly right.
10:53 left in this game. Planky's going to put it up. They're looking for more points, and intercepted. And falling down with the ball was Plaster. He had some open territory ahead of him, but the most important thing is hanging on to that ball and making the interception, giving the ball back to the Bulldogs, and they need some points.
Yeah, excellent play by Plaster. We pretty well had that play diagnosed. There was 3 or 4 Bulldogs around there. Play was deflected a little bit, but he picked it up, and just unfortunately he slipped. If he hadn't, he might have got a few more yards.
Boy, a hard schedule coming up for the Bulldogs. Doesn't get much easier after this. They have West Valley, first home game, Kellogg, and that's something to play 3 away games before you can even go home.
Yeah, it sure is, especially when they're like this.
Oh, splitting out to the right side, Van Horn, as Vandenberg hands off to number 30, I believe that is, in the game now, Eric Becker. Woohoo, I think we got an earthquake going on. Can you feel this building shake?
Well, I don't know whether that was the building shaking or the hitting going on down the field. I sure heard him hit that time, though, did you?
Yeah, we're gone if it, a big hill behind us here and everything. Well, time for me to go home. As the Bulldogs trying to save a little grace here, we should say, and get on the board. As I know they don't want to be shut out. Patterson out to the left. Vandenberg with a fake, hands off to Becker, and he gets some good running room as he moves the ball down to about the 43-yard line. No, let me correct that, about the 46-yard line. That's going to bring up 3rd and 3 as Patterson goes out. Lance Wigden into the game for the Bulldogs. Center Matt McNulty right now. I'll try to pick up all the players for you. Is 41. Tom Rusk is out to the left, and there's a quarterback keeper, and I think he's got enough for the first down.
It's going to be close. It's worth a measurement, if nothing else. Jerry Banks is also in the game at wide receiver. He's just going out now, and Darren Van Horn's coming in.
This whole building is shaking. I suppose it's the Wallace fans underneath us, but I'm leaving.
Maybe they know we're up here.
Well, let's give Wallace some credit right now. We got this time. As Vandenberg calling signals, first down, they did pick it up, and Russ comes in motion across the field. Fumble! And we have flags on the field, too, as Vandenberg, I believe, got the ball back, but let's wait and see on that, who the penalty's on. And just a reminder why we have this time, Furniture Exchange had a little tiny fire up there on the 5th floor, and there's a little bit of smoke damage to some of the furniture. Not bad, just a little bit of that smell, you know, but you can get that out. But they have some great values on that stuff, and they need to get rid of it. And a good chance for everybody to stop down there, go through and take a look at all 5 floors while you're in there. Take a good look at some of the great values they have on. Ernie and all the boys down there will be glad to help you. And that's the Furniture Exchange, 301 Cedar. Stop in, say hi to them, and take a look around. I'm sure you'll enjoy it.
Is that an earthquake, or is that the wind, or what is that moving this?
Well, another penalty, and so we can talk about it. We're up high on the roof here in Wallace, and the Wallace fans are right underneath us, and this building is shaking. I'm not kidding you. Tom doesn't seem too worried.
It's not the cameraman.
It's not the cameraman. So if you're getting a little bouncing on the camera right now, blame the Wallace fans for this. Yeah, they got to be excited, leading the Bulldogs 30-0.
Yeah.
I know you're depressed, Gayle.
Well, just a little bit. But we'll still come back and score some points here, I'm sure.
Well, high school kids, it's got to be a great thrill for them to win. And for the Bulldogs, of course, it's not a great thrill, but they're going to learn some new things. They're under direction of a new quarterback right now, and they're learning some things off it, and they've looked good at times. As Plaster gets it down to just about the 40-yard line, where it's going to bring 45-yard line. It's going to bring up third and about 3. And the Bulldogs are running out of time. 8:20, they'll be in West Valley in Spokane next week. We'll be there. As the Bulldogs' record will move to 1-1 unless they can put a quick 30 points on the board in 8 minutes' time. And you don't see that very often in high school football, especially against a defense like Wallace. As McNulty, the center, gets ready to hand off to Vandenberg. And is in motion for the Bulldogs that time. Oh, wait a minute, he's going to throw. Vandenberg's got a man, and right through Plaster's hand. As Scott Porter was the name I was trying to think of in motion that time, but Plaster had his hands on it and dropped it.
Yeah, too bad. It was it could have paid off for the Bulldogs, but that's all right. We'll get it.
Getting seasick?
Just a little bit. I don't know. I didn't bring my Dramamine with me. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah, it's a good thing I spent some time in the Navy. I'm used to this. It's good exercise for me. I don't even have to move.
Actually, I think I'd rather have a parachute.
Well, a big rush as Shell gets it off, though. Nice kick, and there's the man I almost hate to see with the ball anymore. As he picks up some good yardage, he could... oh, we got a penalty, and I'm sure that's going to be against the Miners for a clip. As it was a good run by Robbie Jones, but most of it's going to go back as there was a clipping penalty in there on the Miners. I seen it, so I hope that's what they call.
Yeah, I think you're right this time, Larry.
Thanks, Gayle. So you can't make it to West Valley next week, right? Well, for the Bulldogs, it'll be going home and recuperating. I'm sure some of it's going to be learn to catch the ball.
Yeah. Well, we knew this was going to be a tough game tonight.
Vandenberg has thrown some of those passes right in players' hands, and, you know, a couple of catches, a couple of touchdowns could make a difference sometimes.
Yeah, it sure could. Well, that's breaks in football. You know, sometimes they go with you and sometimes they go against you, and I guess they're going against us tonight.
Well, the clip for the Miners will move the ball back to their own 24-yard line, but I think for them right now, all they're concerned with is picking up a few first downs and running out a lot of time, as they pretty well have this one wrapped up. Lanky's still in the game. New guy in the backfield there, 73, Larry Larson, 250-pound senior. And he picks up 5 just by hitting the Bulldogs.
Yeah, that was Glenn Converse in on that tackle, along with Mike Brown.
Well, Glenn's a pretty big boy for the Bulldogs. I think he comes in at 220.
Yeah. We got some more new players in. We got Harvey Hernandez is in the game now.
So Coach Barlow giving everyone a chance to play. Gives him a chance to look at everybody. It's got to be a sad loss, but also some good experience picked up on this and things they'll know for next week.
Yeah, we got Clay Sacamanos in the game also.
Lang again. I'm kind of surprised Wallace hasn't taken their first ring out and given some of their other players. It's like they want to add to the score.
Well, I see a couple of new players in there, but you're right. They're basically staying with their first string, it looks like to me.
Well, they only have one quarterback. Well, no, they do have another quarterback listed. No, they don't. Well, yes, Kevin Clary, number 1, and they haven't put him in yet. And you'd think with a 30-0 lead with 6 minutes to go, they'd change that backfield, but they're staying mostly with their first string. The Bulldogs have put in reserves now to give everybody a chance. Flanky again. He's fumble, big fumble. Let's see who gets to it. I believe Wallace picked it up.
That was a good play on the Bulldogs' part. They were in on top of the quarterback just as he was pitching the ball out, and therefore he couldn't get a good pitch out to his back. And Bulldogs made a good defensive play on that.
Well, I think the Wallace coach must have heard me, as their second-string quarterback finally coming into the game. That's Kevin Clary. And, boy, we have to give a lot of credit to their first-string quarterback in there. He's played an excellent game, Planky.
He certainly has.
And he's going to be back for 2 more years. Oh, they didn't take him out. They put a guy in to kick, and it looked like somebody almost got a hand on that. As it comes out to, boy, they don't have their field marked here too well, Gayle. Let me do this by, well, it's going to come out to the 44-yard line. So the Bulldogs will have good position. They, I'm sure, would like to try to get a score or 2 in here. Well, I know they'd like to get a score or 2 in.
You're right again. One thing that Wallace doesn't seem to have is a kicking game. Sandpoint has a real good kicking game.
Well, tonight, a lot of things have been fairly even, except for Wallace. 2 or 3 touchdown passes. And we have a timeout by the Bulldogs. Let's do the same. We're in the 4th period to play. 5:20 left to go. Our score, Wallace 30, Sandpoint nothing. We'll be right back.
Right, we've got 2 1-minute.
I'll get a chance on this.
Yeah, shoot for 1 more after this if you can.
I got both of them in on a verbal, too, so.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I heard that a couple times. So we're doing fine for the sponsors we've got, but if we had 6, we'd be having problems. We've only gotten in
We had 6
2
live
that are
here.
1-minute ones. Yeah, I noticed that. We might be able to cut at the end of a play. Yeah. And get it. So it's the same referee we had last week. Same referee we had last week.
They haven't been that bad.
I can't think of his name.
Give me at least a
Okay, Bulldogs 1st and 10. As Vandenberg pitches back to Becker, and he may have got down to about the 41. Not much of a gain. With the clock moving, 5:11 here to go in the 4th period of play, and hopefully right after the game we'll have a quick interview with Coach Bill Barlow, and that's what's hard to do, Gayle. Of course, Bill and all the coaching staff, really nice, but, you know, after a loss, it's hard to go down there and say, hey, what happened?
Yeah, it's tough on you and tough on him, I'm sure. What can you say?
If he doesn't talk to me, we'll know. No, I'm sure he will. Just a reminder, you know, if we encourage you to always go see the Bulldog games. If you can't, of course, listen to Larry Jeffries on KSPT. He'll bring you all the play-by-play action on Friday nights. There's a pass by Vandenberg. Nice grab in there by Banks as he hung on to that, wiggled it around a little bit, and finally brought it in and picked up some yardage on it. It's going to bring up about 3rd and 2. As I was saying, if you cannot make Bulldog football, join Larry Jeffries on KSPT Friday night. He'll bring it to you live around 7:10, 7:15. And then remember, get Mommy and Daddy and all the kids and Grandma and Grandpa, aunts and uncles, cousins, anybody else you can think of, and join Community View Channel 5 on Wednesday nights at 6:30 for all the exciting Bulldog action. And remember, as soon as we start filming volleyball games, I think they're going to follow the football game. We'll give you an exact time on that. Whoa, Vandenberg's going to be racked for a big loss. As Wallace Miners tonight showing that they're going to be a tough team in that Frontier League, as they're definitely going to be a force in there.
Yeah, I don't know do you know what their record is, Larry?
This year? Yeah. They're 1-0. Well, let's say they're 2-0 now.
Yeah, they're going to be another tough opponent, but I think Bulldogs might have learned something from tonight, and pull their bootstraps up and be ready for West Valley next week.
Well, you know, they are a young team, a lot of sophomores out there, and they're going to, boy, next year and the year after, they're going to be power-packed with some experienced players. We have flags all over the field. Vandenberg gets the pass off, almost intercepted, as he had a big rush on him, and I'm surprised he even got it off, but he managed to. But let's wait and see what the penalty flags are.
I believe the penalty was backfield in motion. One of our backs was a little bit anxious. Coach Barlow has been substituting an awful lot of players, and I believe that was Harvey Hernandez at that time that moved before the snap.
Well, 3 minutes left to go. Just a reminder, if you can make it to West Valley in Spokane, well, go and do your shopping Friday and then stay and see the Bulldogs in action. As I know we have some fans here tonight. Not a bad crowd over there for the Bulldogs.
No, for as long a way as it is, there's quite a few people over there. It looks to be about 30, 40 people.
Well, there goes the stands again. Rocking and rolling in Wallace. The Miners with a 1st and 10 from their own 42-yard line. As now it's just a matter of running the quarterback out. They do have their quarterback in there now. And I think they waited quite a while to put him in there. Should have been in there a long time ago. But Wallace just wanted to make sure of that win, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess they did want to make sure, but I agree with you. They could have put him, their reserve in a lot earlier than they did.
So Kevin Clary now the quarterback for the Miners, and the Bulldogs with a bunch of new people on defense, and Gayle will give you a few of those as we go along here. 2:30, clock moving. 2nd and about 6, handoff to number 40, some big yardage. He's going to pick up the 1st down and more as he moves it into Bulldog territory around the 39-yard line. That was number 40, Dan Levine. Of course, he was one of the starters earlier in the game.
Yeah. We got a few. He's running in so many players on defense, we can't really keep up with it. But it looks like Joe Holmes is in the game, and Steve Miller, and there comes Dwayne Tilley in the game. Let me see if I can pick up a few more numbers. Jerry Banks is back in there at defensive back.
We always want to try to mention all the kids, as they do a super job when they're in there. It's a good thing about high school football. They're learning, you know, and sometimes we get over anxious to say, hey, we should have that undefeated season and stuff. Well, we have a young team, and who knows, next year or the year after, it takes a while to build a program, and I have to give Coach Bill Barlow all the credit. I think he's done an outstanding job with these kids. He's more concerned about their health and attitudes, I think, and that's what's important to me. I like to see that in a coach.
Yes, he's done an excellent job, and like I said before, he's compiled an excellent coaching staff.
Sometimes it takes a while to get in and change fans' opinions, too, you know what I mean? Fans have a lot to do with this, you know, how they meet people on the street, how they talk to them and everything. So it takes a while to build an entire program.
Certainly does, and I think he's on the right track, though.
Well, all the coaches, I've enjoyed talking with all of them. They all seem to have real good attitudes. They all care about the kids. They had 40 kids turn out this year, and I think one may have not stayed, and that's unusual. Usually you get so many kids, you know, 10, 15 of them quit after the 1st or 2nd practice, but it just reflects on how well our coaches are and the fact that all those kids stayed this year.
Yeah, you're right about that, especially when they were having their daily doubles. It was awful hot weather, and I don't think one kid didn't show up when he was supposed to.
Well, it looks like this could be the last play of the game as our clock will move out. Wallace will win this one 30-0, and the Bulldogs will have to go home and regroup for West Valley next week as they now move to 1-1 on the season. And Wallace just showing you what kind of team they are. They blanked Kellogg last week 28-0. Bulldogs 30-0 this week. So they have not allowed a touchdown all year. They're 2-0. And they may get this play off. 6 seconds, 5, 4. I don't think they're going to get it off. No, they won't. That'll end our game. Final score, Wallace Miners 30, Sandpoint Bulldogs nothing.
Yeah, I can. I better go tell people. If you want. Yeah, where are you going to be now? I'm going to try to pick Bill up down inside.
With me right now, head coach Bill Barlow. And Bill, 30-0, the Miners won it. Were they a little tougher than what you thought they'd be?
Well, actually, I think that they got us in a hole real early, and they are a good physical ball club, and our kids may have not been quite as prepared as we could have been. But the basic idea is that they got us in a hole, and they struck early, and we didn't get a chance to really get on track all evening.
Vandenberg, for a young quarterback coming into a situation where he probably hasn't worked with the offense as much as Dean had, I was impressed with his play. Were you?
Well, I think under the circumstances, Jay did about as well as we could expect him to do. I think that he's going to do nothing but get better, and I think it's a responsibility of the